Hello, everybody. Welcome to LearnEd. You have heard our voices as anonymous individuals taking up lectures. This is for the first time you get to see one of us. Introducing to you all Franklin Gari, who made it to the Holy PDF in his very first attempt. As someone who has seen him very closely, I can only say we were all expecting to see his name somewhere in the PDF. When we got to see it, our emotions knew no bounds. He's someone who has worked exceptionally hard, resistant to all the challenges that came his way. And most definitely, it wasn't just the hard work, but a dash of luck that made him have his name there. So, Franklin, welcome. How are you feeling? Has the emotion sunk in yet?
That was a lovely introduction, Shivani. I'm still trying to manifest the fact that I've found my name in the holy PDF. I mean, it's just such a great feeling. As soon as the results came, I was like, okay, what will happen? A day before, I was so anxious. There were speculations of the results coming around 15 and 16. It was a very anxious moment for me. But as soon as I found my name in the PDF, it was all gone. I just feel amazing right now.
That's lovely. Franklin, please take us through your background.
Okay. So I am an engineer, infamously an engineer. I've done my chemical engineering from IIT Delhi. I graduated in 2022. And I like playing guitar. As you can see my guitar there. I also play piano then my free time. And those are just my hobbies. And apart from that, I started my preparation around in late 2021. And since then, I've been preparing for civil services.
That's lovely. Any specific book list that you followed other than the ones generally prescribed, Franklin?
There are a certain set of resources other than the standard book that I followed, particularly certain websites and YouTube channels. But I'd like to mention the fact that conventions are meant to be followed. So certain of these standard books, for example, Lakshmikant for Polity and Spectrum for History, they are, in my opinion, irreplaceable, and they quite a good job. They do quite a good job at explaining different things and covering relevant aspects for CSE. So I think that was it. I just followed the standard books and certain other channels and resources.
All right. So, Franklin, take us through your course of preparation. When did you exactly start studying? Technically, for the preliminary examination, followed by mains, interview.
Okay. So as I just mentioned earlier, I started my preparation in around late 2021. So I started, I got into this realm of UPSC preparation in around July 2021, by when July was nearing to its end. And since then, I've been preparing for civil services. Talking about my serious course of preparation, I started it around January 2022. And if I mention my preparation for prelims, I started my preparation for prelims in March 2023. So we had our exam on 28th May 2023, right? So I started full head into prelims from March 2023. And after that, when I got to know that I've cleared prelims, I moved on to my mains prep immediately after, the results came on June 12th. So I started my mains preparation by June 20th after a brief break. And again, when the mains results came on 8th of December, when I got to know that the interviews are commencing quite soon, that is on January 2, 2024, I started my preparation right away. And my interview happened on 14th of Feb 2024. So I had a brief time when, like, when I compare myself to the person who had their interviews just right away in January, in the first week of January, I had a little bit more time to prepare. So that really helped me get through.
That was wonderful, Franklin. Not talking much in details about your struggles, as every individual in their life per se goes through challenges.
True.
I know you had your own share of gloomy days. So, how exactly should one come out of those gloomy days, quote unquote? Civil services per se is a very tiring journey. Any coping mechanisms that helped you through?
As you just mentioned, Shivani, it is a very long journey. Apart from the three phases, the prelims, mains, and interview, you go through a lot of other phases as well. For example, when the prelims is nearing, you have a different set of emotions. When the results are nearing, for let's say for any of these stages, you go through a certain level of anxiety. When the final results are coming, then again you go through a certain level of anxiety. A lot of people, I consider myself lucky enough to have gotten through this in the first attempt. But people who couldn't get through any of these stages in their attempts, they face certain levels of problems, emotions. They start to doubt themselves. So it is really a long ride. It's as they say infamously that it is a marathon and not a 100-meter sprint. So I think I had my fair shares of lows, and we have to accept the fact that there will be ups and downs. It's not a hunky dory ride. You have your own shares of highs and lows. The best that you can do is, you know, to keep that stabilized. You try not to, fluctuate too much between your highs and lows. You try to keep that consistency, try to stabilize stabilize yourself and get yourself on the desk just to study, chalk a plan out and try to follow that. For example, let's say, a lot of aspirants face different issues. For example, let's say relationships or families, financial struggles, and even struggles relating to health and body. But the important thing is to, you know, decrease your focus from that front and channelize your energy towards preparing for this examination. Because once you've decided that you will be preparing for this examination, I would just say that you put your all into this. Try to convert your bad days into a little bit more better days. If not too good, just for example, if you perform up till 80% of your usual performance, then on the bad days you can just do 30% of that, right? You don't have to stretch it to maybe 70 or 80 as well. You can just do 30% of that and you're good to go. Because a lot of people face, everybody has their own share of bad days. They feel low, they don't feel like studying, they start to doubt themselves. I did a lot too. I have myself faced a lot of self doubts. I used to ask myself, for example, when the prelims were nearing, so I think the starting of May, I used to ask myself, there's still a lot of syllabus which is remaining for me to revise. How will I get through? I was solving PYQs. I was getting certain of them wrong. Again, that put me in another, it's like a new doubt unlocked for me because I was like, okay, I'm not able to solve certain prelims questions that were previously asked by UPSC when the exam is so near. So that there are different set of doubts that aspirants face. But I just think you have to, keep them aside, just calm down. Maybe you can try meditation or something like that. That will really help you. Just talk to your friends and family when you get that doubt. They might encourage you. Always, stay with people who encourage you, who push you to do better, and that really helps during the journey. And I myself am really grateful that I had such a lovely family and friend circle that really encouraged me and pushed me to just go straight and not look here and there in this particular attempt.
It's been 1 month of us having posted the very first video on this channel. What
Right.
motivated you to do so? Having said that, congratulations to us on 1001k subscribers and still counting.
Woo! That is true, yeah. Shwani, well, you motivated me. But apart from that, I was having my, after the interviews were over on 14th of Feb, I was like, okay, what should I do next? Because, I had certain level of that gala phase through the free time that I had. I was preparing for prelims on one side, but obviously, when you get through the cycle, the first thing that comes to your mind is, naturally, generally, is to enjoy, right? So I was doing that for some days, but as soon as I entered March, I was like, okay, let's do something about, maybe just to teach people, share our journey, document it on our channel, and as we know, as we discussed that our agenda will be to declutter the concepts for UPSC because there are other there's a lot of noise in the community wherein people tell you, okay, do this, you'll definitely get through. But in my opinion, and you know, we have also discussed this earlier that it's not, you cannot be certain. When they say things like the U in UPSC stands for unpredictable, it's actually true. Even though it might be very cringe, but it's actually true because you can't predict. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a certain level of anxiety which comes attached to this examination, and you have to be strong enough to face that. So in order to keep myself busy in something, and also to help impart the certain level of knowledge and experience that I've gained, we started this YouTube channel. And yeah, that is it.
That's lovely, Franklin. Let's not forget to address the aspirants who shall be taking the preliminary examinations this year, addressing the change in trend in both GS and CSAT. Any message that you'd like to convey to them?
I would just like to say the strategy that you've been following till date, please stick to that. Now, since the topper interviews are out, a lot of them will be sharing their own strategies. But I would just say that don't change your strategies too much because the exam is just 2 months away now, right now. Stick to your own plan. Try to follow it to the teeth, and focus more on revision. It's not about how much you know. It's about how much you know better. No, it's not. For example, if you read an entire book, they're not going to the questions. The questions are quite random. For example, if you consider prelims 2023, there were questions which were quite random, and the accuracy is has to go down in that paper, and it went down too. So I would just say that थोड़ा सा पढ़ो बट जो पढ़ रहे हो उसको अच्छे से पढ़ो just be truthful to yourself and try to revise as much as possible because that is the only thing which helps. If you just focus on the fact that you have to acquire more information, study from here and there, and just consume a lot, that won't help because on the exam day, first thing you have to do is more than your knowledge, your confidence is important. So when you are thorough with certain level of syllabus, for example, if you know yourself that यार मुझे ये पता है मैं अगर इससे आएगा तो मैं कर लूंगा, if you have that level of confidence with a tinge of calmness, that really helps. And then comes the knowledge wala part. So you must have been making your own notes, doing PD65, things like that, referring to other channels, making your own notes, or maybe referring to your coaching notes. Just stick to that. Trust yourself with the process and don't try to change your strategy.
Franklin, unfortunately, a couple of our friends and people whom we know couldn't make it to the list. And we know there weren't any stones left unturned by them. Anything that we say today wouldn't instantly ease out on their pain and how they're feeling. But if they were to hear this, before you address them, I'd like to say something. Their efforts did not go down in vain. There is something better that awaits each one of us. This certainly would not make sense for them now, but time heals it all.
It does.
Any message, anything that you would like to,
Yeah.
address?
Shivani, being on the other side of the table, if I say something, it's like infringing upon their private space, personal space. But I would just like to add the fact that, just like to say that, for people who've, not gotten their name in the finalist, and if they're hearing this, know that you're great. Okay. You're not, you're not a loser. You've just, this is just an examination. And if you have your attempts left and if you really want to do this, please give it a go because it is definitely worth it. So sitting on the other side of the table, I can say that it is definitely worth it. And the amount of happiness and pleasure it gives you, if you really love this examination, is immense. And just don't, if I just tell you that don't get disheartened, that won't help, right? So just try to distract yourself for a week, for that matter. Maybe try to go somewhere, go to a different place, talk to your family and friends, or maybe just some stranger, even that helps. Just try to get that wound out of your head. I know it's not easy, but eventually, as you mentioned, Shivani, time definitely heals. So I think just you're doing great. Just keep doing what you do.
And yes, most definitely, there will be sunshine soon. Franklin, people you want to extend your gratitude towards, this is your time and the platform is yours.
Yeah. So as I earlier mentioned, I use a lot of free resources in channels, right? So firstly, before that, I would like to thank my family, my mom, dad, my friends, and mentioning coming to the resources, to the faculty, people who helped me. So I've done my coaching from Rouse. A few teachers there definitely, I made notes from those lectures and I revised those. Apart from that, uh, doing the free lectures that were available on YouTube, be it, I like to mention few names if I may. So, so I like to mention Amit Singh Gupta. His geography videos, the short and crisp videos really helped me. I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Atish Mathur sir. His polity lectures really helped me, cover the vast amount of syllabus that is required for GS2, both in prelims and mains. And apart from how can we forget the two important channels? One is Understand UPSC by Satyam Jain and Clarity for UPSC with Dr. Shivan. Both those channels, and I specifically referred to his course for environment, and that really helped me through. And Satyam Jain's other lectures, wherein he tries to motivate, he gives you certain glimpses through his journey. That was also very helpful. And there were other channels as well. For example, I refer to the Byju's IAS channel for certain current affairs, although I was not regular with current affairs on their channel. But for the certain current affairs that were likely to be asked in mains, I definitely refer to their current affairs channel. And yeah, these are broadly the channels that I can recall that I would really want to, extend my gratitude to. And it's these were also the channels that helped us rather start our own channel, maybe give us an inspiration as well. So I'd like to thank these set of channels.
Very true. Thank you so much, Franklin. For we know your life's been bustling with beautiful calls and messages. We hope you
Yeah,
grow into an even beautiful officer than you are a human. Thanks a lot, Franklin, for doing this session with us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful career ahead. Thank you.
thank you, Shivani. I really loved doing this interview with you, and I hope our viewers get to learn a bit or two from this interview.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day
Thank,
ahead. Thank you.
thanks, everybody. Doing great.